Hong Kong media mogul and pro-democracy activist Jimmy Lai was in court for the first time since he was jailed nearly 4 years ago. The founder of the newspaper Apple Daily was one of the most vocal critics of China's ruling Communist Party and is accused of masterminding anti-government protests that swept across Hong Kong in 2019. He has pleaded not guilty, of course, to all these charges, but he faces life in prison if convicted. And joining me now is Sebastian Lai. He is leading the international campaign to free his father, Jimmy Lai. Sebastian, thank you so much for being with us. So the court opened, the trial opened overnight our time, of course, Wednesday in Hong Kong, and he's accused of masterminding all of these protests. And this comes a day after the very tough sentences of up to 10 years of 45 protesters in Hong Kong. Tell me about the trial and the accusations against your father.
So it's a textbook show trial. It's a case where there's 3 government-appointed judges, no jury, allegations of, the chief security minister alluded to his guilt even before the start of the trial, allegations of witnesses being tortured, and actually the UN Group on Arbitrary Detention, international body completely objective, said that issued a ruling saying that my father should be released immediately, that the trial should never have happened in the first place, and that he should have never been arrested.
And that's the position of the U.S. government as well.
U.S. government, UK government, multiple other states, including the European Parliament. There's an international call for his release.
And as this trial continues, what chance does he have? What opportunity does he have to defend himself?
So. As part of this show trial, he does, after the prosecution had made their case, there was a 6-month break. So today was the restarting of the trial where he is now taking the stands to have his defense. And
one of the things he's accused of is meeting in the U.S. with Vice President Pence at the time and with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to talk about the freedom, the democracy that had been guaranteed to Hong Kong under the separation agreement back in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. It's completely ridiculous, but it shows you where Hong Kong is now in persecuting anybody who is willing to speak out against them, to call for greater freedom and democracy.
Let's talk about that, because with the very tough sentencing of the pro-democracy student leaders, and we were all, enthralled with the masses of people who turned out in the streets some years ago. And with your father's trial, is this the end of the democracy movement for Hong Kong?
So, with the passing of the national security law, it's definitely a very dark time for Hong Kong. You have examples, not even people like my father who ran a newspaper and criticized the government and asked for more democracy, but people who wear the wrong T-shirts or like social media posts, pro-democracy social media posts, are getting arrested. It's a very dark time.
And that national security law is, of course, crushing the movement. What do you think President Xi's motives are in doing this?
So I do not know, but I know that the economy of Hong Kong has gotten much worse since these crackdowns. In the end of the day, why would anybody want to go there if they didn't have the freedoms that it used to? And the economy is hurting, and China wants the economy of Hong Kong to do better, but they can't claim that they have all these freedoms that made the city flourish if they still have my father and 1,900 political prisoners in jail for expressing pro-democratic views.
More than 1,000?
1,900, yeah. It's
almost 2,000 people jailed.
Yeah.
Hong Kong was a financial center. It had all of its British colonial history, of course, but as well, it was a tourist center. Lots of us loved going to Hong Kong. It has one of the spectacular airport, relatively new airport there. So with all of that investment and with China's economy really in very poor shape right now, which is a major challenge for him, and getting more foreign investment, doesn't it seem as though these are conflicting impulses for the Chinese leadership, mainland leadership.
It really does. Hong Kong used to be a touch point where a lot of businesses could be
Right.
domiciled in Hong Kong and then invest in China and have a relative certainty that your rights will be protected, the rights of your business will be protected. That is no longer the case. Like the example of my father is a perfect one. My father used to run the biggest newspaper in Hong Kong, but more importantly, it was a pro-democracy newspaper.
It was known around the world.
Right, yeah, and for his stance, for the courage of speaking out and campaigning for democracy for the last 30 years, he is on his almost 4 years now at 77 of solitary confinement in a maximum security prison.
Do you know
with
what his
access
health
to-
is like?
So it pains me to say this, but his health has gotten much worse. As you can expect, given his age and the conditions, and the fact that he has diabetes. 15 days or more is considered prolonged solitary confinement, and he's been in there for more than 1,400 days.
Well, our thoughts are with you and with your father and all of the other prisoners. This is really something that actually the incoming President Trump should also support. Have you had any outreach to anybody in the transition, or is there any possibility of getting help?
So we've been incredibly grateful by the incredible bipartisan support that we've had on my father's case, being such an iconic case. President-elect Trump said in an interview by Hugh Hewitt that he would 100% get my father out. So, it is about getting him out, but it is about saving his life, and the time is running out.
Sebastian, thank you so much for coming by on your visit to the United States. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.